All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Greatest day of the week. The rotation continues to be real, and markets are funky. So let's dive into it. Let's go over current positions, and then I'll kind of go off the cusp on my thoughts, and we'll see where that leads. See if it provides any value. Okay, so current positions, Bitcoin. Yeah, so while everybody was saying this is going to go over 100,000, I was skeptical, although I still think it is, right? I mean, you watch my videos, I have the price target right here. And so anything over 100,000, I was going to be looking to get out. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know. Now, originally, I had said depending on the price action around 100,000, I would hold it or whatever. So we'll see what type of pullback this is. We'll give this some room to work. I may have to take some off, but we'll see, right? I mean, this was like a 5% pullback. So minus 9%. My average cost on those is $33. So it's up here at 58. So we got quite a big cushion in these for sure. Quite a big cushion. I don't exactly know how I'm going to play this. It's not quite speaking to me on this one. Now, like I said, over 100,000, I was looking to get out. We'll see what happens tomorrow. This is kind of whatever. Let's look at some Bitcoin miners, how they're holding up. So this weakness today in HUT has been completely bought. They may actually be buying some Bitcoin. Riot's holding in there. So that looks good. Marathon, weakness, boom, bought. CleanSpark, it's hanging in there. MicroStrategy. So, the miners aren't breaking down. So that's good. Okay. From here to here is like 20%. And all it's made it to was the 9-day moving average. So you could see how far extended that was, how nasty of a pullback it is just to make it right back to the 9-day moving average. So, I mean, this thing still looks great. It looks fine. We'll see what happens with this pullback. We'll see if it gives us a more obvious signal of when it's done and when it's going to turn back around. Now, MicroStrategy tracks Bitcoin a lot, so I just kind of follow Bitcoin. I don't really look at MicroStrategy and see. Yeah, so Bitcoin's back down here at the 9-day moving average. Let's see this. So like this price action sucks. Let's go to 4 hours. This sucks. 1 hour sucks, but I could see it finding support here. You've got multiple breakdowns. Bam, bam. It's looking like it's going to be another one. So, that all looks like it sucks. 15-minute chart looks terrible. 5-minute chart looks terrible. So, short term, I don't know. We have a cushion in this. We'll see what happens. Let's see what the volume was like. A little more than average. Definitely a little more than average. So we'll see what happens. Okay. NVIDIA. So you guys know, Bitcoin's my largest holding in my brokerage account. The 2x leverage Bitcoin fund is, and then the second is this NVIDIA. And so NVIDIA is down 4% today. I mean, this is like I said on Friday that this was just a horrible, horrible close, and it's never a good sign when a stock breaks up to an all-time high, gives it back. Right, so this is like from 44 to 40 down here to 36. It's at like 7-8%. In a couple days. That's a tough one. I did. Oh, I was so close to getting rid of this today. But I just couldn't do it. I could not bring myself to do it. There's no sell rule has been broken. It's just super weak. Really weak. And when I thought about it, I thought the only reason I would sell this, apart from it looking weak short term, is because of money and the P&L. And that is never a good reason to base a decision on a trade, ever. So we're here at the 50-day moving average. We'll see if this holds it. We'll see if it doesn't. This is on some pretty heavy volume coming through this 140 level. My average cost basis of this is 126.97, so I do have a cushion in this. Enough to let it play out here, Well, again, like I said, we'll see what happens. It's right at the 50-day moving average. This is the true market leader. Now the rotation is kind of showing itself where I've have been positioned for that rotation. So yes, this is my second largest holding, but I have lots of exposure in Dow and Russell. Okay, let's keep going here. So Goldman Sachs, financial services just continue to kick butt. My average cost base is 459. 603. Goldman Sachs, like I said, will continue to be a very good trade, and it has been, and it will continue to be. I think it will continue to be. There is no guarantees. All right. Well, since we're on NVIDIA, let's talk about the Qs. And just what a strange day. Very strange day. So this morning pre-market, I thought, all right, here we go. Dow, Russell, Qs, rockin'. It gave it all back, and then NVIDIA and Bitcoin down. So, that was interesting. So let's go over these. These are debit spreads. December 20th is the expiration, 5:15 on the long call, 5:25 on the short call, 364. Those are currently right around 3:30. And then they have that leveraged one, leverage fund, the TQQQ, December 13 is expiration, $80 on the long call, $90 on the short call, 338. Those are currently 240. So let's go over some of this. I am not surprised with it stalling out right here. I'm not surprised with this at all. I am surprised with kind of how weak it was and how weak the main names continue to look. Like, let's go over everything. Okay, so we'll go into Meta. Just limping along. It's limping. Yeah, this is just limping along. That's all I can say about this. I mean, it's been the exact same price for like 2 months, right? Limping along. I mean, clearly, you got some ups and downs, but it's, as of now, it's like unchanged from about 2 months ago. Limping along. Beneath the 50-day moving average. Key cannot make it above it. Cannot make it above it. Pretty violent break below, kind of. I mean, not like violent, but a convincing break below on heavier volume than normal. You got some serious selling in here. Serious selling here. And, kind of heavier volume now. I wonder if lots of that was at the high of the day. People getting out. Yeah, see this? I mean, this is crazy. So again, just limping along, right? It's not convincing. This isn't strength. I mean, this is not dead, but this is certainly not strength, right? So, okay, so then Amazon continues to look good. This looks fine and great. It's got a gap to fill up here. This looks good. This stochastic is showing that this, according to this indicator, is a low risk entry point, and you have a clear level at 200. A clear level at 200. Now, if I didn't have, first of all, I'm not a huge single stock guy. Second of all, I have plenty of exposure to NASDAQ. It's the weakest index, so adding more exposure is quite dumb. But Amazon does look good and very convincing, kind of. At least in terms of the risk to reward is really good. I mean, shoot, this has been kind of like basing. Man, this could definitely work out pretty well. Let's write this down. Amazon. I mean, this is by far the best looking in mega cap. Let's look at Tesla. So yeah, I mean, none of this is surprising. I mean, this is up like 1,000% since the election, and now it's kind of pulling back again. I don't know how you would trade this from here. This isn't something I would be into. So I'm at Microsoft. Yeah, see, same exact thing. I mean, just limping along. None of these are dead, but it's just weak. That's what it is. There isn't any strength in here. So then let's go to Google. Yeah, see, again, it's just like barely is making a rebound after, down 7%. It's strange. Right, can't even make it over this 170 level today, gives it back. Right, it's just strange price action. Now this is at the 200-day moving average. It's respected the 200-day moving average. So at least you have that going for you if you're bullish on Google. Yeah, so that's it. I'm probably missed some. We already went over NVIDIA. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. NVIDIA, I mean, look at this. A couple days down, 4% today. It was down like 3% or whatever on this day, right? So in 2 days, minus 7%, something like that. It's got to be. Not the best at math, but it sounds about right. Looks about right. I mean, is that normal? I would argue not. Now I do understand as to why the theory behind why these things are happening. Yes, we can talk about that here more in a little bit about the rotation, but we'll talk about what's fresh in my mind. Essentially, what it is these higher beta growth stocks really get a boost with stimulus and government spending and more of a devaluing of currency, and just running up the federal debt levels. So markets are kind of positioning for that to actually not happen, which is very interesting. And I hope so. I honestly, I hope so. I hope our debt can get under control. Government spending can get under control, because it is absolutely ridiculous. Nobody disputes that. So it'd be cool if it could get under control. But it'll be interesting to see how the market prices risk assets, particularly high beta growth stocks. And we're kind of seeing that with all these mega cap tech companies really underperforming. Leading up to the election, we also saw that, and Matt talked about those things as well. And so it's continuing to play out, right? So the theme has been the same similar theme that we've seen prior to the election as well as after the election, and continuing into this week, right? So, we had stocks ripping, Dow, Russell, especially financial services, especially, and then the pullback happened. Dow, Russell have recovered, are rocking and rolling. NASDAQ limping along. It's limping along. So that theme remains intact. Okay? Like why people want to get into why, and I do understand that, but you could argue over why. You can't argue over what's happening and what's not happening. You could kind of argue over why, but so you can kind of get caught up in that sometimes, and that's not conducive to performing and making money and doing well with trading. So sometimes I try not to get caught up in that. Okay, so that's it for tech. Let's see how semis are the ETF is looking. Yeah, see, I mean, yes, this is fine. It's respecting this 200-day moving average. Okay, but this is just limping along. The strength is gone. Now, can it come back? Yeah, of course. Of course it can come back. I expect it to, honestly. Kind of. But yeah, clearly we can see that the strength is gone in this. Okay. IWM, so let's go over to the small caps, all-time high. Wow. Small caps, all-time high. When was the last time that happened? 3 years ago? Yeah. Like, literally 3 years ago. Yeah. Like, almost exactly 3 years ago. So, cool. Okay, the market is showing you where to put money. It's saying, we all have our money here. Come tag along. Okay, so IWM, December 20th is the expiration. These are debit spreads. 229 is the long call. 239 is the short call. I got those for 412. Those are currently 762. What's going on with this after hours? Is this thing sucking? Yep. Ugh. Oh, yeah. See, it's just strange. Everything's a little funky, right? You never like to see an all-time high be given back. You don't like to see that. Especially, these are not like anything that stretched. I guess it is, but it's not. I mean, this was an awesome pullback. Oh, man, yeah. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay. And then Dow. Yeah, pretty good close. See? Okay, we're seeing the strength. This is where, again, the strength. Dow, all-time high. This is my favorite index, so I love to see this. December 20th, debit spreads. December 20th, 440 on the long call, 450 on the short call. 406. Those are currently 692. And then December 27th is the expiration of other ones. 433 on the long call, 443 on the short call, 478. Those are 822. So those are getting close to where I'll start cutting them. Yeah, around the 80-90% range, right? Because if I'm shooting for a maximum return of 100%, I'm not going to wait until there. I'm going to start trimming and taking them off and exiting the position around 80% or whatever. So we're getting to that point. All right. Wow, cool. I blasted through all those. Now let's go over some things that are grinding my gears here. So oil, boom, plummets today. So I traded my plan. That was good that I traded my plan. I said, 1 or 2 days of strong price movement and I would get out. I was looking kind of at this as a downtrend and at breaking the downtrend, but on the video on Friday, I talked about, oh shoot, this is actually probably a pretty good spot to continue or try and go short again. And man, did it really sell off today. It's like 3% down today. Let's see what it actually was. Yeah, almost 3% down today. It continues to move down after hours. So I remain long-term bearish on oil anyways. Now let's go over bonds. I mean, look at this, up 2.6% today. On Friday, I got in and got out that same day. 2.6% and TLTs in a single day is an unbelievable move. Oh man, so that really grinds my gears on that one. You know, and you know, I can be wrong, and that's fine. That doesn't matter to me. But where I'm trying to figure this out is, were these bad trades? Where was the mistake? Where was the mistake? You know, it's easy to say, oh, you cut them too early. That's easy to say, right? Because sometimes you're like, oh, I cut them too early. Sometimes you're like, man, I wish I cut them too early, right? So you need to have a plan and trade the plan. With bonds, I guess I didn't really have a plan, is what it came down to. I didn't really have a plan. And also, this doesn't meet my criteria of moving averages down below the 200-day moving average. So that one was kind of dumb to place in the first place. It's not my style. It's not my strategy. So deviating from that, clearly it can work sometimes, clearly, but oftentimes it does not. So I would say this one all around was dumb, and we're moving on. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave that there. Oil is the one where, is there something to learn from this? Yes. Better analysis of where I would get out, because I had said 1 or 2 days of strong price movement, because I was viewing the 70 range as kind of the line in the sand of when I would know if I was wrong, and then a second day of strong price movement over 70 would confirm that I in fact was wrong. But then when I was talking about on Friday the 75 level, when I said actually that's a sweet place to go after this again, because anything over 75 you could get out. Okay, here's what I can learn from this one is there isn't a trend established. There isn't a trend established. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right, I feel a lot better. There's not a trend established. This is moving sideways, and like I said, I am bearish on this. But let's wait for the market to agree with me. Okay, so boom. There's bonds out of the way. You know, I was doing some reading as to why people are bearish on bonds for this administration, and it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I personally think bonds suck anyways. So I think bonds just suck in general. But as to exactly why it would be bearish for this administration, I kind of don't agree with that. Because we've seen in El Salvador, for example, during 2022, I believe it was, when bonds had their worst year ever. I think. Is that 2022 or something? 2021 maybe. Clearly, I guess 2021 was worse. Oh, this is 2022. Oh, so that's the end of 2021. Okay. Yeah, so it was 2022. Bonds had the worst year ever in history, which is quite wild to think about. I guess people have just kind of forgotten that, just moved on from it. Maybe the media didn't really want to blast it out too much. That's why, probably. Maybe not many people know. But, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, El Salvador. So, you see with countries that restore stability and balance the budget, where bonds perform well. And I would say that there is a more than 50% chance that will happen. I would maybe give it 52% that will happen. I'm pretty skeptical on those things and just governments in general. And so, but I would say there's probably a 52% chance that will happen. So just on that premise, I could see bonds performing well. And if they do, that would be cool. That would be awesome, I'd love to see more money come into America. I would love to see people say finance the government. Oh, that sounds so ridiculous. But I would love to see American bonds performing well as an American and a citizen of the country. Also, as somebody who trades stocks and financial markets for a living, it'd be awesome to have another asset class to go after, right? So, I mean, up, down, whatever. Let's get into a real trend line, a real trend, make a decision. Okay. Now, some other ones here. Okay, so, Shake Shack. I like I said on Friday, wow, this still looked good, right? On Friday, it wasn't even stretched. I missed this today. I totally missed this. Yeah, I missed this. So, I have it written down. So, there's no excuse for missing it. And that one's totally on me. Now, let's see how lithium, whatever. Oh, cool. Yeah, I think this one could be worth me going after. Yeah, and it seems like it's a fairly liquid options market. Fairly liquid. So, yeah. Yeah, so this one will be worth looking at for tomorrow, going after. Traders moving from Trump trade to Bessent trade? What the heck is that? Is that the new Treasury Secretary? Is that his name? Yeah, it is. Scott Bessent. Yep, Scott. Treasury Secretary. Yep. I think that was a good pick. And highly speculative stocks? Oh, like Russell? Okay. Buy bonds. Yeah, sell dollar. Dollar really sold off. So gold and silver, sell oil. Moderating manic buying. moderating manic buying in cryptos. That's a really funny line. When is this? Fed minutes, is that tomorrow? So, wow, interesting. Okay, so Russell, after hours, ugh. I mean, this does have a gap to fill. Gosh, man, is this really selling off after hours? That's stupid. It does have that gap to fill. So we'll see what happens. Let's see Dow. It's like, it's just strange, kind of strange price action. I guess not really, because we've been talking about this rotation. I've been positioned for this rotation. But it's just strange in that you have Nvidia and all these other names that just are sucking. And then, wow, is Dow or NASDAQ selling off after hours? Whoa, big time. Huh. I wonder what the heck's going on right now. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I remain optimistic about this week. Clearly Russell's been really working. Same with Dow. Same with financial services. So... So yeah, it's just funny about Bitcoin. And Cramer was like literally right here at the high when Cramer said, own Bitcoin. Oh, jeez, it's just so funny. All right, well, that's it. Yeah, let's look at some individual names in Dow. United Health. Ooh, this still looks really good. Wow, Dow can have quite a long ways to go. St. Goldman Sachs, let's see Caterpillar. Awesome. Yeah, see, I wrote down Caterpillar too. Man, what the heck? Ugh, man, just missed them, I guess. Not really paying attention. Oh, let's go over another one, XBI. This is one that I'm not bummed about. The 95 to get out on this was the right call. That is the right call to get out. Because again, sometimes it will continue, but for the times it doesn't, sucks. So capital preservation is rule number one. So that's what I did on that. What else do I need to look at? What's going on with eBay after this earnings? Wow, came right back up. That's interesting. What's Shopify doing? Whoa, Shopify's rocking. That's good to see. Really good to see. Wow. And it has quite pulled back. Yeah, so again, things are a little bit funky, right? It's kind of like the rotation is real. This thing just continues to play out. Copper. Yeah. We basically talked about everything. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings. We're in a really good period seasonally. So we'll let this bull market continue to do its thing. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.